All right, let's have a chat about Burberry Brit. So I fell in love quite recently with Burberry Brit. This is the EDP, the original EDP. And I think I got this for a steal on Notino, and these are both also I got for a steal on Notino because they were unwrapped. Both in perfectly, good quality, but I got them for cheap, so I decided because I found it quite hard to find videos well, certainly in the English language that I can watch that compare these perfumes, and particularly these two, because this one actually doesn't really have much to do with these. I've also smelt Brit Rhythm and Rhythm Floral, and those have got their own little videos, but I thought I'd do this specifically to do this. So original Burberry Brit, I absolutely love it. It's one of my all-time favourite, instantly all-time favourite almond perfumes. It's not biscuity, it's nutty in like an almond kind of essence way, you can tell it's almond, but it doesn't smell like a biscuit, like a cookie or a food. It's like gourmand in a very easy to wear way. So yeah, I mean, you don't smell like you're walking around with an almond cookie in your pocket, you just smell edibly delicious. So the notes in the original Burberry Brit are almond, lime and pear. Middle notes are candied almond, sugar and peony. Base notes are vanilla, tonka bean, amber and mahogany. And I get a lot of lime in the tops and pear as well, and then a lot of almond. It's sweet, but it's also got that beautiful kind of sharp, slightly sour note from the lime. And the pear makes it really juicy, so it's not heavy at all, it's light. You can layer this and it gets stronger, but it's not like beast mode in terms of projection. It does project, but it's not like crazy. But it lasts for a really long time. When I wear Burberry Brit EDP, I can't really wear anything else for the rest of the day. It is an all-day wearer for me. Yeah, it kind of, that general sweet almond lingers on your skin. I don't get loads of mahogany. I don't really get florals. It's not really strong in vanilla. I think it's just warm. It's sweet. It's like a beautiful almond and a lovely, lovely tangy lime, But the more it dries down, the more it just turns into a just fresh almond, sweet almond. It's so lovely. So I really wanted to try the EDT, because it has slightly different notes but not a huge amount. So I was like, when I saw it, I thought I'll just try this. It's a really cute bottle as well. This typically is the 100ml one, whereas I kind of wish that I had the EDP in 100ml, but I can always get another one because hopefully they'll never discontinue it. I feel like it's still quite popular probably. So I got this one, and I've heard some people say that the lime in it is super sharp. I've heard some people say that that it smells exactly the same as the EDP. Some people say it doesn't smell like the EDP. My general feelings about the EDT is that it's definitely not as nice, in my humble opinion, as the EDP. I think in a weird way, at least at first, it smells kind of slightly unisex. So I think that's because it's got more wood in it. It's got more notes that might turn it a little bit more like cologne-y in a way, even though it still has the original. So the top notes here are green almond, so it's green almond, lime and pear and lemongrass. Middle notes are almond, sugar and peony. Base notes vanilla, mahogany and amber. So it still has that sugared almond. It's pretty much, to be honest, in the very deep dry down, it does actually just smell like this. It's the deep dry down of this smells almost identical to this. But in the kind of journey to get there, it's definitely more woody. So you get more of that mahogany. That's like a stronger note in the EDT than it is in the EDP. And the almond is a bit more bitter because it's a green almond, and the lemongrass is definitely, it definitely has a bitter edge to it that I think makes it smell slightly unisex, and it's got that slightly more grassy herbal vibe. It's slightly sharper with the lime, but it's still not like, I mean, I thought from what I've heard some people say that it was going to be very, very limey. So I kind of liked the idea of the original, but with much more of a kind of a lingering lime smell, but that's not really, I mean, that's not really what this is. I think you get more bitterness from lemongrass and from green almond. You get more wood. There's a little bit more lime, but not, it's pretty negligible, to be honest. It just is slightly fresher and lighter because it's an EDT. And then it, you know, in, like I said, in the so after maybe an hour or so, it starts to just slowly morph into the EDP. So I don't think I want to keep this bottle, because I'm never going to reach for this, because the bit I like about it is the very deep dry down, and that's what I get with this pretty much immediately. So yeah, it's definitely just a slightly less feminine, slightly more unisex version of this. But I would say this would be a really nice unisex perfume. I think this would be a lovely unisex perfume. I think anyone could wear this one. This one I think is maybe just too feminine. But yeah, so I think the EDT is interesting. I think it would be great for everyone to wear, really. But I would never choose that over Brit. I think if I was going to tell you to get one of them, I'd just be like, no, get the EDP, get the original. And then the Sheer is a completely different perfume to those. It doesn't bear any resemblance, really. Let me just have a quick sniff. Yeah, it's super floral. I smelt this briefly in, I'll just put that in the middle, see if you can get a bit of, yeah, you can see a bit of the pattern on it there, hopefully. So I smelt this in Selfridges, and I remember thinking it smelled quite nice in there, but that's probably just because I'd smelt so many other things that I thought were really disappointing. And actually, from the bottle, it is quite nice, it's quite fresh. But on my skin it's way too sharp. Like, this turns into sharp florals for me in a way that I don't enjoy. And I mean, you know, looking at it's not really a surprise looking at the notes. And again, like, I only bought this one because it was cheap and I wanted to do like a comparison, because I think I've now smelt all of the kind of still available versions of Brit. So the top notes here are lychee, yuzu, pineapple and mandarin orange. The middle notes are pink, peony, peach blossom and pear, and the base notes are white musk and wood. So it's not really a surprise that this is quite sharp for me, and I'm very fussy about florals, but florals and peony I'm really fussy about, because I find peony to be very sharp. I don't find peony to be at all a sweet floral. Yeah, so that is like too sharp for me. And then all of those sharp notes in the top, all of the sharp fruits, just really make it kind of a bit unwearable for me, so I'm going to pass that one on. So these two I'm not keeping. This one I'm still obsessed with, and I feel sure I'll finish this bottle and then get another one, because I think it's absolutely one of my easy reaches nowadays. Like, I think it's brilliant. But this one I think is slightly redundant, because I think this one's so much better. Again, unless you want something with more of a unisex vibe and you're not so keen on really feminine perfumes. But again, this one dries down into be very similar to this, maybe a bit more woody. And this one, if you like, what's that? Oh, Bright Crystal. Yeah, so if you like things like Versace Bright Crystal, you'll like Brit Sheer, because that's pretty much what it reminds me of, and I find that one way too sharp as well. Let me just have a look. Oh yeah, it's been compared to that one. It's been compared to Fleur de Pêcheur by Karl Lagerfeld. Just trying to see one of the sunflowers. Oh, Jimmy Choo. What's that one called? Is it called Fleur or something? The pink Jimmy Choo. Okay, yeah, it's basically been compared to loads of very floral perfumes that I find too sharp. Some people have said it smells like L'Impératrice, is it? Number 3 from D&G, which it doesn't smell at all like watermelons to me, so I don't agree with that. But yeah, I mean, again, if you like Versace Bright Crystal, this is very much in that wheelhouse, but it's way cheaper. I think this was like 12 quid or something, so like that, you're never going to get Versace Bright Crystal for that. And even as it is, Versace Bright Crystal I think is like a cheaper alternative to one of the Miss Dior's. Is it like Blooming Bouquet or Forever Blooming or something like that? But this, again, like, if you like those kind of florals with the sharper fruits, you know, really fresh and kind of spring-like but not too sweet, then yeah, this will be a safe bet for you. But overall, in the Brit family, I'm not keen on these two. So the other ones, just to shout them out quickly, I'll look them up on Fragrantica while I'm doing it. So Burberry Brit what's it called? Rhythm. Burberry Brit Rhythm is the one that people say smells like a diaper cream or like a nappy cream, but nappy rash cream. But I don't know what that smells like because I've never had to look after a baby, so I can't comment on that. All I can say is it definitely smells like a body lotion. It definitely has that body lotion kind of smell. I think you get lavender in the beginning, but I don't really find that it lasts for that long. I don't think it remains a lavender perfume when I've tried it. And it really, really, really reminded me when it dried down of Jill Sander Softly, the original Softly, which smells like a slightly bar soapy body lotion. It also smells just like one of my hair conditioners. It very much smells like some kind of body product. So it's kind of cozy and comfortable, but it's not something that I need because I already have I don't need to get a full bottle anyway. I actually kept the little sample of it because I'm going to declutter Softly because I don't like that kind of scent profile, that kind of body lotion scent profile enough to keep like lots of perfumes that have that smell. So I've kept my little sample of Burberry Brit Rhythm, and I'm getting rid of my Softly, but they are actually, to me, that interchangeable. Like, Softly doesn't have lavender in it, but to be honest, the lavender, like I said, feels pretty fleeting. So Burberry Brit Rhythm is lavender, pink pepper, neroli and aldehydes in the top notes. That's why it's got that soapy kind of body cream vibe, because neroli and aldehydes, and orris root as well, which is like iris, right? So that's always going to be. So like middle notes, orris, petalia, blackberry leaf and orange blossom. Also, I find orange blossom really soapy as well. Base notes, musk, woodsy notes, vetiver, cedar and coumarin, which I think is like maybe French for is that French for tonka bean? Anyway, it is sweet, but it's very nice, really easy to wear, very cozy, like a super clean smelling perfume. So I've kept that little sample because I like it. Now, on the other hand, the Floral version of that, so Burberry Brit Rhythm Floral, I really didn't like that, and the reason I didn't like it is because it kind of reminded me a little bit of Cool Water by Davidoff. Now, I did make a video of Cool Water, but I still haven't actually put it up, I'm afraid. I'm very far behind with all the videos that I've actually made because I always make them in batches, but that will go up at some point. But it has like a tangy, like fruitiness with a floralness, and then it's also really weirdly powdery. And I just don't like that. So I'll read you the notes, you'll see what I mean. So top notes, Sicilian lemon, peach, passion fruit, bergamot and orange. Middle notes, lotus, lilac, oxalic notes, Egyptian jasmine, melon and lily of the valley. Base notes, musk, woody notes, driftwood, caramel and amber. So I think it's an easier wear than Davidoff for me, Cool Water, but it's got quite a few of the same notes. It's got the melon and the lotus and I think some other bits and pieces from here. It's got a sharpness from some of the fruits, and then it's got sweetness from the caramel, but because of the lilac, it's really powdery to me, while also being very juicy, like fruity and juicy, and I don't really like those two things together very much, so it just didn't work for me. And again, it doesn't smell anything like... The closest is this one. It's got the closest kind of vibe to Burberry Brit Sheer because it's got the same sharpness in it, but it doesn't smell like Burberry Brit Original in any way, or the EDT. It doesn't smell anything like Burberry Brit Rhythm. They all, like, they smell like these two. That smells like the original, that smells like a flanker. All the other Brits don't smell, all the ones that I smell anyway, they don't smell anything like the original Brit. They don't smell like flankers. They smell like they should be a completely different perfume with a different name. But anyway, each to their own. So I actually gave away my little floral one because I think I sold another Burberry perfume, or I sold something, and I just chucked that one in with it because I thought the person might like it. Because the little sample of that, I was like, there's no point in keeping that. Oh yes, I chucked it in when I sold the original Burberry Body EDT, because that one didn't work for me because it gave me a bit of a headache. I think the wormwood in that with the kind of sharp fruits was just a bit too much for my head. But yeah, I mean, it was really fun to try these. I'm going to declutter these too. This one's definitely staying probably forever. I think this is probably going to be part of my perfume wardrobe just forever now because I love it, and I'm a bit sad it took me so long to find it, but there you go. Massive fan of Burberry Brit EDP. I don't think that the EDT is really you know, it doesn't really stand up to it, I don't think. So I would always just say just get the EDP.